up, PSG family? It's your boy PSG and today we will be going through the stat leaders of Paris Saint-Germain in this current season. I will also be looking at who was the top stat maker in that stat from last season. And then, have a bit of discussion on why and if that's a good or bad thing. First of all, games played. Previous stat record was held by Kylian Mbappe, but this season it's Gianluigi Donnarumma. Played every minute of every game so far, I believe, and that's great. That's great because that's what goalkeepers need. Goalkeepers need to be playing all the time, and how Poch handled the Donnarumma Navas situation last season was awful. But I'm very happy that Donnarumma is the stat leader in this one. Next up, goals scored. Previous held, Kylian Mbappe. This season, Neymar Jr. 11 goals. Kylian Mbappe 1 goal behind. But this is the second stat where Mbappe was leading last season, but he's not leading this season, showing that we're not all about Mbappe like we were last season, which is a positive thing. It doesn't mean Mbappe has shit or something. He's still very high on these stats. It's just he doesn't have to do everything right now. He doesn't have to do the right thing. Next up is shots taken. Yeah, again, previously held by Kylian Mbappe, but this time it's Lionel Messi with 52 shots taken. And who has the most shots on targets? It's yeah again Lionel Messi with 27 shots on target. Kylian Mbappe, yeah again, previously holding that stat record. Next stat, it's assists made, which is Neymar and Messi both set on 8 assists. Previous record held by Kylian Mbappe. Yellow cards, Marco Verratti had it last season, and this season it's still Marco Verratti. 4 yellow cards for the Italian, 1 more than every other PSG player. Next up, it's red cards. Last season, Hakimi, Keylor Navas, and Sergio Ramos all got 1 red card. But so far this season, no red cards for Paris Saint-Germain. Next up, we have passes made. Last season, it was Marquinhos, but this season, it's Marco Verratti. And this is mostly due to Verratti actually being fit and being able to play every game. And then it's also Paris Saint-Germain. We're not just passing it around the back as much as we did last season. Last season, that was it. But this season, we're much more progressive. We're playing in the middle against every opposition. And of course, Verratti is always there to pass the ball around. Next up, we have long passes. Yeah, again, held by Marquinhos last season. But this season, it's Sergio Ramos. And this is a very underrated stat because he's like 30 ahead of everyone else, showing that he has that long passing quality. Even though I think Marquinhos should be the player that's holding this record right now. But he's improving. He's improving. Next stat, we have progressive passes. Last season held by Lionel Messi. This season, yeah again, held by Lionel Messi with 114 progressive passes. Next up, it's shot creating actions. Yeah again, Messi held it last season. He's holding it again. 65 shot creating actions for the GOAT this season. Key passes, previously held by Lionel Messi, but this time it's actually held by Neymar Jr. 36 key passes. Very nice to see. Next up, we have tackles made. Last season, it was Achraf Hakimi, mostly because I think he played a lot of games. But Verratti, yeah, again, we can see him being fit. He's dominating these kinds of stats again. Next up, it's pressures made. Idrissa Gana Gueye had the top record last season, but it's back to Marco Verratti this season. Next up, we have blocks made. Last season, it was Marquinhos. This season, it's Nuno Mendes on 14, showing that our wingbacks, especially Nuno, is contributing more both defensively and offensively than last season. Next up, we have interceptions, previously held by Kimpembe. This time, it's Vitinha. And we can see a lot of stats that were held by our centre-backs, defending stats from our centre-backs, but now it's the wingers or the midfielders that have taken them, showing that our defenders, they don't have to do that much defending anymore. Everything is done and dusted with the midfield. That's why Paris Saint-Germain aren't conceding as many goals as last season. Next one is clearances. Yeah, again, Marquinhos was the top record assist stat for clearances last season, but it's Sergio Ramos this season with 16 clearances. Next up, it's dribbles completed. Mbappe held the record last season, but now it's Leo Messi, 38 dribbles completed, which is the most in Europe's top 5 leagues. Followed by dribble success, Verratti had it last season. Verratti has it this season again. 81% dribbling. He doesn't dribble nearly as much as Lionel Messi, but when he dribbles, no one gets the ball away from him. Most substitutes, this is an interesting one. Icardi had it last season for most substitutes because we were in need of goals sometimes, and Pochettino brought on Icardi. But this season it's Mukiele, showing his diversity, because he has come in as a centre back and as a right wing back, meaning that he was a really great signing for squad depth for this team. Next up, we have fouled. Mbappe was the most fouled Paris Saint-Germain player last season, but this season it's Neymar Jr. Of course, he attracts the most eyes every game, and that's why he's the most fouled. Plus, he likes to hold off the ball, and defenders don't like to see that. Next stat is most offsides, previously held by Kylian Mbappe, and this season by Kylian Mbappe as well. Not that surprisingly, I mean, he's the front man, he's the one making those runs most often, and yeah, it's normal. And that was it for the stat leaders of Paris Saint-Germain this season. What did you think about it? Is there anything you thought about which I didn't put here? I'm extremely happy because we can see that we're less influential on Kylian Mbappe, and the rest of the players are taking their stuff. Neymar, we have seen him plenty of times. We have seen Vitinha even in stats. We can see Verratti is back to his best. Lionel Messi, of course. And yeah, just a teamwork, and the defenders, they don't do that much anymore. Of course, I would want to see Marquinhos a bit ahead, maybe in long passing, because he has that quality. But apart from that, I'm really happy with these stats. As I said, make sure to like this video to show support to the PSG GINT YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe to the PSG GINT YouTube channel as always. Allez, bye!